live from Palm Beach, even though our background is Ted, Washington, D.C.
That's DC.
Yeah, exactly why, I don't know, but that's good. That's good enough. The swamp isn't bad. So we just finished our show on Lindell TV and also here on X, and we were talking about education. And we were talking about education in the context of just how racist the Democrat Party is. They're trying to make these claims of racism against Donald Trump because of that. What was it? It wasn't an ad. What the hell was that? A post of some kind, where it ended. It ended with the Obamas looking like characters from Lion King or something. So they said that was racist. The president has said he never saw it. Never saw the end of it, never looked at it, which is quite common for a president. They don't look at every single thing. They just, they rely on their staff to do it. No one is hanging anybody out to dry. Nobody's giving away who did it. They're saying some staff member made a mistake. And there's no reason not to believe that. There's nothing that suggests that Donald Trump is a racist. I'm sorry. Nothing at all. Entire life, he's been exactly the same in dealing with black people as with white people, and I think scores of black people will tell you that. So, why are they doing that? They're doing it because they're racist. In their opposition to the photo identification for voters, they're showing a complete prejudicial attitude toward the black and Hispanic communities. That they're too stupid to get identification. I thought this was put to bed a couple of years ago when that guy did the video going up to Harlem. Everybody in Harlem has identification, and they say, "Get the hell out of here! What are you, a racist? You don't think we know how to get identification?" Somewhere around 75 to 80% of the black community supports voter ID. 85% of the Hispanic community, 90% of the white community. I mean, comes out to about 85% of America supports voter ID because they all have ID. Among other things, you have to have ID to get welfare, jackasses. So, whew. Now, do they really oppose it because they think that blacks can't get ID? No. They really oppose it because it makes it easier to cheat in an election. And they're the party that cheats in elections overwhelmingly. If Republicans do it, it's an aberration. If Democrats do it, it's part of being a Democrat, a big city Democrat. You have to know how to cheat in an election. If people don't have to produce IDs, you can have me show up and say, I'm James Johnson, who's on the voter rolls, and he's been dead for 10 years. And I sign something like close to his signature. And they don't ask me to produce identification that I'm James Johnson. Then I go vote in 10 other places after that for the day, and the party pays me. That happened, whether it happens in New York now or they have more sophisticated ways of doing it, that happened all throughout the time I was in politics in New York by the Democrats. Also, it became useless to contest because the courts were corrupt, particularly on election cases, because they were controlled by the Democrat Party, who put them there in elections with no opponents. Now, the same thing happens in education. The vast majority of the black community is in favor of choice in education because the public school system in most of the black areas has double-crossed them, and the teachers union is racist as well as communist. And I want to show you something that the Epoch Times, this is the Epoch Times, right? Right here, front page.
Bring it down a little.
Now, you can see it here, but now I'm going to try to show you on here, if I can, and make it a little bit easier. So what this shows is something really amazing. It shows that as the number of employees and therefore the budget of schools has gone up, the performance and the number of students has gone down almost proportionately. So you can see back in 2014, Let me make sure I have this right here. Back in 2014, which is there. I'm trying to get it here on this thing. Let's see if I can get it. It's just giving me a hard time. Well, I think can we put it up again? We'll have to do this. We'll have to do it. I was trying to use my pointer, but it's not working.
One of these different ones might work.
What? That's okay here. It doesn't show, but if you look at the very beginning of the chart, you see 5,907,000 employees with 47,000 students. Now, if you go over here, there are 6,607 employees, 6 million rather, and only 46,000 students. And look at the difference. Now, that is also roughly proportionate to the performance of students that has gone down over that period as there are more teachers. Because there really aren't more teachers. There are more bureaucrats. That's basically what the teachers union tries to do. It tries to get people out of teaching into being bureaucrats. And they have no quality control system, and they oppose it to the death. Any kind of appraisal of teachers, any kind of removing teachers who stink. All teachers are the same. They got to be paid the same. Meanwhile, the black kids and Hispanic kids that are forced to go to those schools and poor white kids are just, they can't read, they can't write. They're below 50% in many of these places in reading and writing. If they do get into college, they have to have remedial high school programs for them. And meanwhile, they're also, beyond that, they're brainwashed like crazy. So this is a party that has, in the words of Malcolm X, the biggest enemy of the poor black is the white liberal. Please understand the wisdom of that. Please. It's extraordinarily important if we're going to fix America. And these things like opposing voter identification and opposing choice in education and opposing merit as the goal, so that you train yourself for that and you get used to that. It's so important. I mean, you can see the quality of our education when you listen to some of these Olympic athletes, like Hunter Hess, who I have never heard of before. But he's a freestyle skater who should be thrown off the Olympic team. Hunter Hess doesn't know whether he should really represent the United States. He's in doubt about it. It brings up mixed emotions to represent the U.S. right now, I think. It's a little hard. Oh, poor Hunter. There's obviously a lot going on that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think a lot of people aren't. Just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the U.S. Well, Hunter should be thrown off the team. Can you imagine if it were a baseball team or a football team and somebody said, well, I'm not even sure I want to play for them? I throw them off the team in a second, right? What happened to teamwork? And if you're an athlete, which is what you are, you were selected to represent the United States. Don't you think you should keep your mouth shut in foreign countries on political issues? What the hell are you doing getting involved? If you want to get involved in politics, get the hell off the team and run for office. I don't know if Hunter Hess is any good or he isn't. But what the hell he's doing on the team, I have no idea. We've only won 2 medals. We're like in 7th or 8th place. Our Olympic team seems pretty shitty, Ted.
Right. Yeah.
I looked today, Italy is leading. I mean, Italy is a little country.
Right.
What are we, 5 times the size of Italy?
Let's see what he said. I got a video.
As of this morning, we had 2 gold medals, 2 medals. They had something like 10. So I guess our team is more interested in politics, and the other teams are more interested in winning.
Let's see if we can. Here's Hunter.
Yeah, let's listen to this boy genius. Why don't you? Is he going to win a medal? This asshole.
Let's play it. Here's Hunter.
Represent the U.S. right now, I think. It's a little hard. There's obviously a lot going on that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think a lot of people aren't. If it aligns with my moral values, I feel like I'm representing it. Just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the U.S. So yeah, I just kind of want to do it for my friends and my family and the people that support me getting here. It brings up mixed emotions to represent the U.S. right now, I think. It's a little hard. There's obviously a lot going on that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think a lot of people aren't.
Wow.
But we're not a big fan of yours, Hunter. Get off.
Get off the team.
Get off the team. What are you causing that problem for? And who cares about your opinion on politics? When you're off the team and you're back in America and you want to do it, fine. You got a First Amendment right to say that. I respect your First Amendment right to say that. We have a right to throw you off the damn team. The First Amendment doesn't mean you have to accept what somebody said. It means you have to allow them to say it. It doesn't mean you can't disagree with it. It doesn't mean you can't fire them over it. It doesn't mean that you can't disagree with them over it. It doesn't mean that you can't not want to be with them over it. That's your right. People have a right to react to what you say. They can't stop you from saying it, but they have a right to react to it. So my reaction to what you had to say is get the hell off the team. Now, the other guy that was a little closer, I don't know if we have that. The other guy that was a little closer to arguable is Chris Lillis. I don't know what he does. What does he shovel snow or something? I don't know. He's on the shovel snow team.
What did he say?
He has mixed emotions. He has mixed. Poor Lillis has mixed emotion, but he does say he loves the United States. He's got mixed emotions. So I don't know if his emotions are so damn mixed. Why don't you stay home? I don't want to get you all screwed up, Chris. What does he do? I mean, they won't give me. See, they won't give me. I'm trying to get a quick listing of the number of medals, but this left wing AI
You want
thing.
to see the standings?
They won't give it to me. You know it's bad. They go back to 2024. Which medals are you asking about? Screw you. It's pretty clear what I'm asking about.
You want the Winter
I'm
Olympic
asking
knockout?
for the countries. I'm asking for the countries and how much they want. It was in the Post today.
Right, Norway. Right now, Norway is
How many do you have?
with 6 total medals, including 3 gold.
All right. Who's
Switzerland
next?
in number 2.
2. Okay. Who's number 3?
5. Japan is in 3rd.
Okay. Who's in 4?
I guess they count gold medals.
No, I just want all the medals.
Yeah, well, Japan
total medals.
has 7 total. Italy has 9 total.
Yeah, I said Italy was leading this morning.
Yeah, so just total medal count, Italy is number 1 with 9.
And how many does America have?
America has 2. But both gold.
So Italy is leading us 9-2.
Total medals. But the U.S. has 2 gold. Italy only has 1 gold.
Okay. All right.
Italy has 6 bronze.
Who does anybody have more than? How many have more than 2 gold?
Here's a current. Put it up here for all of us to take a look at.
I see 333 there, right at the top. So there are 3 countries ahead of us at least, right?
Right. We'll do this so you can see it all. There it is. Norway in first. With you can't really see that.
Oh, Norway's in first. No, not our big mouth Olympic team.
We are in 5th.
We're in 5th place on gold.
5th place. Yep.
And then total medals, we're further down, right?
We're even further down.
Yeah. So we're in 5th place in total medals, right?
Yep.
And we're in probably 7th or 8th place. I mean, we're 5th place in gold, 7th or 8th or 9th in total.
Yep.
And our team has time to give us their political opinions.
Right.
Maybe you should win.
Right. We'll listen to you when you win.
Why don't you represent us effectively and keep your damn mouth shut and concentrate on, I don't know what your sport is. Hunter Hess is a freestyle skier. Chris Lillis, I don't know what he does. I said, I think he's in the shoveling snow Olympics. Shoveling shit. If they would stop spending their time, I don't know, maybe you can't compete really well if you have mixed emotions.
Right. Right.
I don't know. Lillis didn't say he had mixed emotions. It was Hunter Hess who said that. Lillis said something else. Oh, he said it's a little hard. It's a little hard. It's a little hard. Oh, no, wait a second.
Hunter, we just played Hunter. Are you saying there's another?
Oh, yeah, there's another one.
What's
There's
his
another-
name?
Chris Lillis, but I think I had him confused with Hunter. He wasn't as bad.
We just played Hunter. We're gonna find Chris right now. Here's Chris.
Chris Lillis says he can't align with everything that's going on. And he's heartbroken over specific issues, but he has unwavering commitment to the U.S.
Here it is.
So there, I don't know that you throw him off, but you certainly tell him to keep his mouth shut. And since we're running way behind everybody else in medals, maybe he should concentrate on that. Is that him? Is that
I feel
Lillis?
heartbroken about what's happened in the United States when, I'm pretty sure you're referencing ICE and some of the protests and things like that. I think that as a country, we need to focus on respecting everybody's rights and making sure that we're treating our citizens as well as anybody with love and respect. And I hope that when people look at athletes compete in the Olympics, they realize that that's the America that we're trying to represent.
It brings up mixed emotions to represent.
So I don't know what that second guy participates in, but he seems like he's uneducated because ICE doesn't deal with citizens. Doesn't the guy who's heartbroken know that ICE deals with people who are not citizens? And in fact, their mistake level with regard to citizens is almost negligible under Trump in comparison to Biden and Obama. In other words, they make that mistake very, very rarely in arresting citizens. And under Trump, no citizen has been deported. There were citizens deported under Obama, mistakenly. So Mr. Lillis, who isn't as offensive, I grant that he's not as offensive as Hess, still is very poorly informed. Now, if he's going to decide to be a political commentator when he's supposed to be concentrating on winning medals for us, maybe he should get his facts straight. What do you think?
Right.
And maybe let's see if either one of these guys wins something. Or are they so brokenhearted? I mean, this guy, Lillis, is brokenhearted. How the hell do you compete if you're brokenhearted? Maybe we should get him off for his own good. Also, it might not be a bad idea to send him for a remedial political science course,
Right.
to learn that ICE is arresting non-citizens. I'm sorry. You want to be a political critic, Chris? That we have a right to take your head off, particularly if you're wrong, jackass. You better be right, and you better win medals. In fact, before you start saying this stuff, why don't you show us what you can do? Can you find out for me what Chris Lillis does other than get the facts wrong? Does he? Is he a hockey player, or is he a skater? Or it looks like he's a skier, the way he was dressed up, right?
Right. Skier. Yep, he's a skier.
Yeah. Has he won anything? Or has he competed yet?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll see. My favorite city in Ukraine, you should know, is Kharkiv. It's on the eastern end of Ukraine, almost in Russia. I think it's 18 miles from Russia. Used to be a very pro-Russian city, very pro-Putin city, until Putin invaded them the first time he came into and started shooting them, even though they were kind of friendly toward him. Might have been possible if Putin had made a call to the mayor. They might have gone over to Russia. They used to vote for the Russian Ukrainian party all the time. Well, that completely flipped the whole city. And they have been the staunchest opponents of Putin this time round. And they also have gotten the biggest beating. Russia has tried everything to capture them. They, as of last year, they had destroyed a quarter of the city. 1/4 of the city was destroyed. And the mayor today is quoted in the Post saying, screw you, you're not going to get our city. Mayor Ihor Terekov told the Post that they now have 4 schools that are operating because even though they get bombed every day, they operate in the metro stations. And they get 1,200. Each underground school, I don't know how this is possible, accommodates 1,200 students. And they now transact a lot of their business underground. Now, this is the second richest city in Ukraine and may per capita be the richest. It used to be until Russia has, he says they're attacked almost every single day for the last 4 years. And Russia did grab a little of them a while back and they drove them out. I mean, you don't want to fight these people. I'm telling you, I work with them. You don't want to fight with them. They preferred in Ukrainian elections. They were it's kind of like the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Ukraine used to be split pretty much down the middle between pro-Western and pro-Russian two parties and little coalitions. Now, it was always thought that the pro-Western were stronger, but like the Democrat Party, the pro-Russian would cheat more. And then they got caught in one big election, cheating like hell. And that led to the election of Victor. I always get the two of them confused. So you get the right Victor because there were 2 Victors, very similar names. One was the right-wing candidate, one was the left-wing candidate. The left-wing candidate got caught cheating, and they had another election, and the right-wing candidate won. Let's make sure we get it right.
Yushchenko from 2005 to 2000.
That's it. He was poisoned by Putin. Putin would say, I had nothing to do with it. But all these people that get poisoned, it's Russian because that's their preferred method of killing is poison. Well, they didn't kill Victor, but they really destroyed him to a very large extent. Although he's pretty much recovered now, but his 4-year presidency, I'm not sure he was really in any way prepared to govern after. I remember seeing him after he was poisoned and almost died. I can't even describe it. His whole face was pockmarked from this poison that Putin administered.
Yanukovych is the other.
Yeah, well, right. He's the guy that then had to flee to Russia, leaving $800,000 in the bank.
The whole country.
And he's the one whose minister the Bidens work for, Burisma, and paid them paid him a definite $10 million. I believe it was closer to $20 million to get the company out of trouble and to get Hunter out of trouble by dropping the case. It's called a bribe. So there's a nice article here about life underground in the subway in the subway system of Kharkiv. Is that nice? I think that's nice. Let's see if I can show you. We should have it. Oh, look at this! Look at this picture. Who's that?
Hey,
Who's that?
Senator Graham.
Who's that?
Dan Scavino.
Yeah. I think that's Dan's new wife, Aaron. Yeah. And there's Dr. Maria back there, and there's the two of us. There's the two of us agreeing that we should bomb Iran and quickly. The president was on the other side of the table. I don't know that he heard us, but he was on the other side of the table, and Lindsay and I were agreeing it's time to take out the IRGC. Lindsay is a warrior. We have to say that about him. He's a warrior. This is the school here. This is the school. Look, they have to open it with this thing here every day. They come down the stairs as a subway, and they have to open it, right? Door at the bunker of the fortified city of Kharkiv near the front lines. And there are the kids. They look like kids everywhere. That kid there that's looking at the camera doesn't look like he's too I wonder if they have the teachers union there. It's a small classroom, though, isn't it? Well, who knows? We only see a little portion of it. But look, they got a nice television screen back there. I mean, it's in the subway. This is in the subway.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I think I think it's time to really punch Putin around, but that's the way I am. Right?
Right.
So the Guthrie situation, Savannah Guthrie situation is heartbreaking, isn't it?
Yes.
So all weekend, it was covered endlessly. And here's the reason why I think this is not particularly helpful. Until she said something today. If in fact this is a situation in which they're so lost after a week of investigating that they need the public's help to find these people all over America, it would mean they're nowhere. What Savannah said today was we should help her, and that means all over America. That confused the living daylights out of me. I mean, it's not more specific than that. After a week of investigating. Now, I do not in any way blame this on the FBI. First of all, you know that I've criticized the FBI mercilessly about certain things, which I think are being changed. But there's one thing the FBI has consistently remained world class, and that's investigating kidnappings. There are areas in which I certainly think the NYPD is clearly superior to the FBI. First of all, it's 3 times bigger, or used to be. I don't know what the hell the communist is doing to it. But if we had a kidnapping in New York, immediately, even though we're probably the best prepared police department in America to do kidnappings and everything else, we would call the FBI in because they are so good at it. They've been doing it since the day they started. And I work with them as an assistant U.S. attorney. I never was in charge of a kidnapping investigation, but I was the assistant to the assistant U.S. attorney in charge in a very big kidnapping. And I watched the FBI operate. We got the kid. They got the guy back. They're very, very good at it. It was tragic that the sheriff delayed in calling them in. Of course, it was tragic that he messed up the crime scene too. You can't redo that. We don't know what damage they did because the damage is in what they may have destroyed by not handling the crime scene. I mean, we learned that a long time ago. 30 years ago, crime scenes, they had no idea how to do a crime scene. But for the last 30 years, I mean, all you got to do is watch television to figure out what to do with a crime scene. Didn't they have a series about the forensic, about crime scenes on handling crime, NYPD handling crime scenes?
Yeah.
I mean, you go beyond that tape on a crime scene, they'll shoot you. I mean that, you know. But I mean, wow. It's the first thing you do because you don't know what you don't know. Crimes are solved by somebody dropping a lighter or somebody, that's an actual one I can think of. Crimes are solved by a fingerprint that the guy left because he took his gloves off for 1 second and touched something. Or DNA that ended up in the bathroom. Little things like this. And right now, it looks like they have nothing. Now, I'm going to give you one big giant caveat to the whole thing. This could be a ruse to throw the person that they are focusing on off. And I have a slight feeling that it may be because it was too much of a switch. Saturday, Savannah appeared holding hands with her brother and sister, which I thought was beautiful, and sending a message, it seemed like, to the kidnappers, we're together and we're going to pay you. That was as clear, that was powerful and clear, right? We're going to pay you by 5 o'clock. Well, she didn't say that, but because the note has not really been put out, we have a leak of the note from the three media outlets that received the note. She did not get the note. It went to them. And they gave it to, I presume, the FBI, and they gave it to the Guthrie family. But the note from the things that were leaked or described by the media outlets said that they had, and this is a little confusing because it wasn't put out until Saturday, they had 2 deadlines. One deadline was last Thursday at 5 o'clock. They could deliver 4 million in Bitcoin. The other deadline was today at 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock Eastern time. They could deliver 6 million in Bitcoin. So went up 2 million over that period if they missed the first deadline. Well, they missed the first deadline. And she said they were going to deliver the money on Saturday. Today, very surprisingly, she appeared and said nothing about delivering the money, said nothing about the money, and asked for the public's help in finding her mother all over America. Now, that's a strange message. When you ask for help for something like this, you give some, you narrow it. You look for. I mean, I've solved cases with the public giving us the information, but you got to narrow it, and you got to give them help. You got to ask them what to look for. And if this were actually that, after Savannah appeared with a beautiful emotional statement, they'd put an expert on, either the FBI or their own private investigator, to give it a little more, to give it a few more specifics so that people would know what to look for. They didn't do that. So I come to the possible conclusion that this was a ruse to try and trap whoever it is that's involved. We'll only know this when it's solved, which God willing will happen. I think it will get solved. So shall we take a short break? And we're right back.
We'll be right back after we pay the bills.
Here we are, pretty much at the beginning of the process here at this pristine, I call it a laboratory. It's not like a factory, it's like a hospital. This is the beginning of the process for roasting. Deep grain, very good quality. Most people don't use this quality. We deal with small farmers because we like to know who we're dealing with. They give us the highest quality, all organic, non-GMO. You should know all Arabica beans, no Robusto, all Arabica. They're going to go into the roaster, and it'll get roasted for about 20 minutes or so. Oh my goodness, look at these. My goodness. You're going to want to specially order these. This is what goes into Rudy's Coffee. U.S. Army Major Scott Smiley paid a high price serving our nation. Scott was leading his platoon in Iraq when a blast sent shrapnel through his eyes, leaving him blind and temporarily paralyzed. Scott would become the first blind active duty military officer before medically retiring years later. Thanks to friends like you, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation gave Scott and his family a mortgage-free, specially adapted smart home. Show your support for America's heroes now. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at T2T.org.
Are you ready for some action?
I'm ready for action.
Get the Elite TV plan only through the portal. 218 channels, and it's only $69.95 a month,
Wow.
including your free portal.
That's cheaper than everyone else.
Your favorite sports, movies, news,
Wow.
even daytime dramas. We're talking about ESPN, OAN, Newsmax,
Wow.
channels you can't get anymore in certain areas.
Compared to the competition, this is a way better deal.
Endless selection. Not to mention all the free music channels. There's over 700 premium and classic movies all ready to go.
Wow.
Plus, they got catch-up TV that allows you to go back and watch what you've missed or want to watch again. Cut your cable in half and get twice as much for free.
Way more channels for half the cost.
After the first year, the subscription then drops to $57.95 monthly,
Wow.
where you change or upgrade anytime. Go to QUXNow.com and get yours today. Use promo code RUDY. Act fast. These deals are selling out.
Welcome back to America's Mayor Live. A little good news. Of course, you know that the big victory in Japan for Prime Minister Takeshi, who is a disciple or whose mentor was Shinzo Abe, who was the longest reigning prime minister of Japan and quite conservative. And she, if anything, is more conservative and dedicated to defeating China, stopping them from taking Taiwan, developing Japan as a military force, and combining that with an alliance with North Korea, Philippines, and other parts of Asia, and becoming a real guiding light in Asia. Nothing, I can tell you, nothing in the world, except maybe from a realistic analysis of the might of the United States, could shake up China than Japan. It's been, I don't know, hundreds, thousands of years of Japan terrorizing them. I mean, Japan is a smaller country by a lot, but it's a country of warriors. And if I put my money on Japan, if they decide they really, if she can, and they're probably, I mean, given the vote that she got, let me see if I have this right. So her party got 354 of 465 votes in the lower house, not her party, two parties together. Her party got 316 of 465. The coalition party picked up the remainder. So now she controls 354 of 465 votes, which in their system makes her veto proof, because the Senate, the smaller body, if you can get 2/3 of the lower house, which ends up being the more powerful one, then you can override. The Senate can't block her from doing what she wants to do, which is to substantially increase the military budget and basically be the Margaret Thatcher of Japan, revive the economy, or the Benjamin Netanyahu, who before he became the savior of the West and the Winston Churchill of our era, reformed the economy of Israel and made it into a free market economy, and one of the, despite its size and its challenges, one of the richest countries in the world. They weren't. They were a socialist country before Bibi, because they were founded by European socialists, if not communists. He changed the whole thing. And boy, there's none of that left there. Well, the Conservative Party of Thailand also won a big victory in a surprise election, because the polls had picked the left wing to win. Wow, I wonder why that was. And they now beat out the so-called the Progressive People's Party, which had won the most votes in the last election and was the front runner in opinion polls. They beat them 194 seats to 116, and they went down from 151 to 116. The lefties did. Meanwhile, she's got the majority. The right-wing party has the majority, and the new prime minister is also a very, very virulent critic of China and is looking for an alliance to contain China. Now, that is a hell of a thing, because the same thing is going on in Vietnam. The same thing is going on in Malaysia. And the same thing is going on in Cambodia, although some of that hasn't all expressed itself yet. So if you take Japan, and Japan decides that it's going to be sort of the leader of a coalition that the U.S. would be part of, but Japan would take care of a lot of it for us. That would really, really be a heck of a blow to China. Not to mention the fact that this idea that China was going to reach the moon and take over space and kind of got blown to bits with the Artemis project. They're going to have a liftoff, I think, within a month. Meanwhile, China has had 3 missions now that have been either unsuccessful or destroyed. And their chance of colonizing the moon has gone down, just like their chance of being the strongest economy in the world by 2048 is now totally ridiculous. They're lucky if they survive. So all you need is a president as a leader, and you put pressure on these people. That's unreal, because we're a much more powerful country than we realize. A much more successful country and a much better country than like these Olympic athletes are presenting us at. So in a way, we can take people by surprise. Jimmy Lai, you may know who he is. He was an outspoken critic of the Chinese Communist government. He was safe in doing that in Hong Kong. And then when the deal was made to turn Hong Kong back to China, but still they'd be preserved as semi-independent, China double-crossed everybody and has really taken Hong Kong into the homicidal dictatorship that has ruled China now forever, and probably is responsible for killing more of its own people than any country on earth, including massive extraction of organs from live people so they can make a fortune with it. Can you imagine? Yeah, that's Red China, the country that gave Joe Biden anywhere from $21 to $31 million. And Joe Biden gave up the Bagram Air Base 400 miles from China. You think there's a connection? Are you stupid? No. You're not stupid. I know you're not stupid. Trump has made efforts to try to convince China to free him, to let him come to the United States, because Biden did nothing for him. China was his employer. How the hell was he going to put any pressure on them? Right. So I was going to spend some time on Mondani and his treatment of the homeless in New York, because I can't say I'm surprised. I really can't. But I'm going to cover that with Dr. Maria on her show on Lindell TV at 9. So why don't you go watch that, and you can hear what I have to say about a mayor who sits by when his city is experiencing a cold spell, and some of the days were colder than Antarctica in New York. Can you believe that? Wow. No. This conversation here with a woman who's unidentified was taking place outdoors when it was 0 degrees, and they couldn't convince her to come in. Now, for 30 or 20 or 30 years before I was mayor, and every day since, whether the mayor was a Republican like me or a Democrat like all of them, or, well, I guess Mike was a Republican for a while and became a Democrat, or a fool like some of them were, or a crook like some of them were. All of them took people off the street when it was freezing. I mean, that rule was put into place by some left-wing Democrat. Mondami doesn't do that. And you'll find out why if you watch Dr. Maria. But what a tragedy. Let me also point out, because I just found it shocking, New York got a new Archbishop, Archbishop Hicks, who came from Joliet, Illinois, originally from Chicago. And he replaced Cardinal Dolan, who is my friend and a wonderful, wonderful man. One of the most exceptional men I've ever met. And Cardinal Dolan had retired. He was over 75, which is the retirement age. And the Pope named Archbishop Hicks to the position. And he was sworn in. He was consecrated on Friday, I believe it was. Or was it? I don't know if it was Friday or Saturday. But it was a beautiful ceremony. I wish I had been in New York, because I was at the ceremony that installed Archbishop Dolan, and going back to Cardinal Cook, really. So the way it's done is they close the doors of St. Patrick, and the new Archbishop knocks on the door. I don't know if you saw pictures of this. He knocks on the door with a hammer. And then the procession comes down the aisle of beautiful St. Patrick's, which is as beautiful as any French cathedral that there is. And they bring in the new Archbishop named by the Pope, and he's consecrated by the Cardinal, who is now a Cardinal, but still a Cardinal, but retired, and still able, until he's 80, to vote for Pope. Now, we have a very young Pope, and God willing, nothing's going to happen to him. But if something did, he right now, he'd be able to vote, but not the New York Archbishop. Now, you're saying to me, well, why is one a cardinal and the other Archbishop? Well, Dolan was an Archbishop when they put him in, and then they make him a cardinal usually a year later. It's the strangest thing. It's sort of a... I don't know if there's a testing period or a tryout period, or see how he works out. But I mean, it used to be the largest diocese in New York. Now I think Los Angeles is larger as a diocese. Maybe one or two others that are larger. I'm not sure, because Brooklyn is broken off. If it were all in New York City, that would be one thing. But Brooklyn is broken off. Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. I'm sorry, Brooklyn and Queens. Staten Island is part of New York. Brooklyn and Queens are broken off into their own diocese, the Diocese of Brooklyn. And then the rest of Long Island is the Diocese of Rockville Center. So the New York diocese is not as big as New York City. But it's still, without any question, the most influential position in the Catholic Church in America, largely because of the media presence in New York. And Cardinal Dolan, of course, was a master at it. Guy should have his own show. I mean, he's fabulous. I don't know. Hicks' first sermon was excellent, but I don't know if he has the same skills. If he doesn't, that would be not everybody is the same. But the point is, Mondani didn't go to the ceremony. I can't think of a mayor that didn't go to the installation of the head of the Catholic Church in New York. I mean, Ed Koch was Jewish and went and became a very good friend of Cardinal O'Connor. They wrote a book together. I wonder the last time there was an installation of a prelate. The prelate for the diocese in New York that the mayor wasn't at. Mayor Adams was there every. The mayor of New York traditionally goes to the midnight mass. Mayor Adams was there this year, the year before that. But Mondani didn't show up, and people were surprised. I wasn't surprised. He's a fierce opponent of the Catholic Church. He's a communist. Communism is fiercely atheistic. And its biggest opponent is the Catholic Church. Look what they did to them in Poland. Second, he is a radical Muslim in his thinking. Radical Muslims are taught not to be friends with Catholics. He took an oath on the Quran. See here? This is the original Quran. This doesn't have the bullshit organization in it that tries to confuse you. But he swore an oath on this book. This book says things like, don't be friends with Catholics and Jews, Christians and Jews. And by the way, when this was written, it meant Catholics. There was no Protestant Reformation then. Fight and slay the pagans wherever you find them, says Muhammad. Take not the Jews and the Christians for your friends, says Muhammad. I guess, if you don't take them for your friends, you don't go to their installation as a bishop, right? Take not the Jews and the Christians. Now, you really could say Catholics here, because this was in the 7th century. There was only the Western and Eastern Rite Catholic churches at that time. Even the Orthodox Church didn't exist then as a separate church. They were all one church. So he's talking about Catholics. He's talking about the church that was run by the Pope. It is he who has sent his messenger with guidance and the religion of truth, that he may proclaim it over all religions, even though the pagans may detest it. He doesn't like us. He took an oath on a book that says not to be friends with us and to kill us. That's a hell of a thing, right? Mm-hmm. That's a hell of a thing. Therefore, where you meet the unbelievers, smite at their necks. This is from the head of the religion. Does it sound like Jesus? At length, when ye have thoroughly subdued them, bind a bond firmly on them. Thereafter, it is time for either generosity or ransom, until the war lay down its burden. Fight in order to test you, some with others. But those who are slain in the way of Allah, he will never let their deeds be lost. This leads to the hadith that talks about the virgins in heaven. Soon he will guide them and improve their condition and admit them to the garden, which he has announced for them. That's if you kill Catholics or Jews. Would you like me to continue? I guess we really don't have. This is the holy book of the Muslim religion. And fight them on until there is no more tumult or oppression, and there prevail justice and faith in Allah, altogether and everywhere. That's what the Ayatollah says. That's why it's the Islamic Republic of Iran. They want to be the Islamic Empire. That's what it's about. No, we just don't have the guts to look at this. Fight in the cause of Allah and slay them wherever you catch them. Turn them out from where they have turned you out, for tumult and oppression are worse than slaughter. But fight them. But if you fight them, slay them. Such is the reward of those who suppress faith. There must prevail justice, and Allah must prevail. By the way, you know who Allah is? Allah is one of 4 pagan gods that were worshipped in the pagan religion that was prevalent in his tribe in Mecca. So you think he's like the God of the Old, like hell, not like the God of the Old Testament or the God of the New Testament. He's a pagan God who wants to either kill or subdue all of us so he can control the world. That's just one of 109 passages in the holy book of the so-called Muslim religion that he swore on. Now, when you take those out of there and you just leave the parts of the Quran that are unobjectionable, fine. But I mean, you've had 1,500 years to take it out, and you haven't. It's still in the book, which is why maybe they become all so defensive. They're not all terrorists, of course not. But why do they become so damn defensive? Because they know what's in that damn thing. And we pretend, like George Bush said, Islam is a religion of peace. This is not a religion of peace. This is a religion of war. That's what he's telling them. He's telling them to go to war. And they immediately followed what he said. They captured Iran. They didn't convert Iran. They captured it. They eliminated the Zoroastrians. We call it genocide now. They've done more genocide than any possible group you can think of in the mission of spreading this thing. Most of this has been spread by killing. This is what we're facing. You want to screw around and play around, fine. You want a world in which your kids are safe, then let's have it out and let's be clear about what the hell's going on. And let's get rid of that Ayatollah quickly. He's been around too damn long. Should have gotten rid of him when he took our hostages or when he killed our Marines, the other one, the one before him. I'm sorry. But I believed that then, I believe it now, and the sooner it happens, the more lives it'll be saved, including their lives, the Iranians. And they are moving away from this thing in droves. They're either leaving or they're becoming Christians in massive numbers. So you go over to Lindell TV. Dr. Marie's got a great show. You'll get my explanation about the history of New York and Mondani and how this is mind-boggling what he's doing. 19 people have died on the street of cold. And then we also talk a bit about the Iranian rally this weekend, which was quite successful in Berlin at the Brandenburg Gate. I think it demonstrated with the speeches and the interviews and the marching and the people that there is the capacity to overthrow and replace the Ayatollah with a stable regime that could be elected within 6 or 8 months, which is what they promised to do and laid out the plan for. And they have much more support than is described in American media. I mean, the Wall Street Journal today prints an article by some professor supporting the son of the Shah, who basically was thrown out because he killed so many people with the Savak, and because he stole so much money. And the guy that has come along all of a sudden, who's never done anything to help the Iranian people except live off their money like a multi-billionaire. We find out that the regime is using their internet capability to spread the impression that he has a lot of support in Iran. Now, why are they doing that? Because it's discouraging a lot of the rebels, because they're saying what you would say: what the hell do I want to risk my life for and my kid to go from a religious theocracy back to a monarchy? Nobody goes back to a monarchy. And this guy doesn't know anything else. He's never had a job. He's never done anything. He's never tried to help before. He's never taken a risk of any kind. And he's completely incompetent to do the job. Meanwhile, there are these, the NCRI, which is made up of 26 different groups that have been laboring for the last 40 or 45 years to unseat, have lost 120,000 people in pursuit of that, and have a shadow government, interim government, that could keep the place going until there's an election with the 10-point plan that is laid out for it. We'll discuss that also. So go to Lindell TV. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back at 7 on Lindell, at 8 o'clock here. And pray for the people of Iran and the people of Israel and the people of Ukraine. Think of my friends in Kharkiv, with those kids, 1,200 kids in a subway station being educated while Putin bombs the shit out of them. And he can't defeat them. He's not going to take Kharkiv. I guarantee you that. Unless he destroys all of them. God forbid. So you'll be back with us tomorrow, and let's see, maybe there'll be some real surprises. We've got this whole Iran thing hanging in the balance, and the Guthrie thing, and the development today, which was kind of strange. God bless America. We'll see you tomorrow.
If you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it. 'Cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can. Take care. Take care. You know, I awoke one Sunday morning all alone with this song stuck in my head. And in that moment, something or someone spoke to me. They said there was still a verse that needed to be written for this song, and to get up and write it down. There's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man who died for all our sins, hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus, and he'll give you a second chance till you can't. Take care. If you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it. 'Cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can. Till you can. Till you can. If you got a chance, take it. Take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it. 'Cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can. Till you can. Until you can. Until you can. Until you can.
It's our purpose to bring to bear the principle of common sense and rational discussion to the issues of our day. America was created at a time of great turmoil, tremendous disagreements, anger, hatred. There was a book written in 1776 that guided much of the discipline of thinking that brought to us the discovery of our freedoms, of our God-given freedoms. It was Thomas Paine's Common Sense, written in 1776, one of the first American bestsellers, in which Thomas Paine explained by rational principles. The reason why these small colonies felt the necessity to separate from the Kingdom of Great Britain and the King of England. He explained their inherent desire for liberty, for freedom, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, the ability to select the people who govern them. And he explained it in ways that were understandable to all the people, not just the elite. Because the desire for freedom is universal. The desire for freedom adheres in the human mind, and it is part of the human soul. This is exactly the time we should consult our history. Look at what we've done in the past and see if we can't use it to help us now. We understand that our founders created the greatest country in the history of the world, the greatest democracy, the freest country, a country that has taken more people out of poverty than any country ever. All of us are so fortunate to be Americans. But a great deal of the reason for America's constant ability to self-improve is because we're able to reason, we're able to talk, we're able to analyze,